One of the really important strands within Judaism and Christianity is that we love God and we love our neighbours. Often when they try and summarise the law, the summary goes that we shall love the Lord our God and we shall love our neighbours as ourselves. There's one particular point in Luke's Gospel where Jesus is in conversation with a lawyer, and the lawyer asked Jesus what he needed to do to receive eternal life. And they began a conversation which is all around the summary of the law, particularly around love your neighbour as you love yourself. And the lawyer came back to Jesus and said, well, who is my neighbour? It was, in fact, a really, really good question, because it was one of the live questions of Judaism at the time. The discussion goes all the way back to the book of Leviticus. In chapter 19, right at the start of the chapter, you have that classic statement, you shall love your neighbour as you love yourself. But by the time you get to the end of the chapter, they repeat that statement, but in a slightly different form. You shall love the stranger in your midst, or you shall love the alien as you love yourself. Already they've started to recast that question of who my neighbour is. It's not just the person who lives next to me that is like me. It's not just a member of my family or my tribe. It is people who've come in from outside. If we go back to the conversation between Jesus and the lawyer, actually that is what gives rise to one of Jesus's most loved stories. It's the story of the Good Samaritan. And in the story of the Good Samaritan, Jesus recasts it one more time. The Samaritans at the time of Jesus were the enemies of the Jews. So Jesus is saying in response to that question, who is my neighbour? Actually, your neighbour are people whom you are slightly suspicious of, people who frighten you. And therefore what Jesus is doing is beginning to explore this whole question of who is it that we love? It's not just the people near us. It's not just the people who live near us. It is actually people that come to us as strangers. And this, I think, gives us a great challenge as we reflect on how we respond to refugees. It is at the heart of Christian faith that we should love our neighbours as ourselves. And it turns out that our neighbours are not just people who live near us and are like us. They are people who may be at first to us strangers. And it's important that we love them just as much as we love other people.